If you can properly formulate your ECHR, European Convention on Human Rights, on your either asylum claim or human rights claim, you have a better chance to success your claim in the UK. Although many people are confused that there is a Brexit, UK is out of the Europe, can I still exercise my ECHR or convention right? Well, there is two different methods. Still, you can exercise your convention right, European Convention on Human Rights. How you can claim, I'll explain you. The starting point is European Convention on Human Rights and the European Union is two different institutes. Firstly, European Convention on Human Rights, which was formed 1950 following the Second World War. And many member states where they are not the member of the European Union, but they are member of the they're a signatory member of the European Convention on Human Rights. European Convention of Human Rights is deal by the organization called Council of Europe, and European Union is mainly, which is 27 member state, which is the European Union. So there is two different institutes, two different mechanism. Now UK is not member of the European Union, but still UK is a member of the European Council of Europe and a signatory party of the European Convention on Human Rights. Therefore, you can still claim and exercise and engage your human rights convention right in your claim, asylum claim, humanitarian protection, or any leave to remain application. As I said, many people do some very basic mistakes or lack of knowledge on their asylum claim or on their leave to remain on in the UK. Now, what people do is people mainly present only their Article 8 rights in any leave to remain application, which is private and family. But you should engage all the ECHR right as far as applicable to you in any claim or in any human rights application for leave to remain. I will give you some basic information. What are the ECH right? Which article you should engage? And you should understand, if you go through an asylum interview or screening interview or substantial interview, or if you make an application on the basis of private and family life, you should have some basic knowledge about this article rights, ECHR convention right. Because if you have this, then you can give your interview or present your application or write a cover letter in a way by engaging all the article of ECHR. So Article 2, for example, right to life, very important. Remember, Article 8, private and family life, is not an absolute right. That means the authority can breach Article 8 rights in some circumstance. But Article 2, no authority, none of the UK authority or any member state can overcome or can breach the Article 2. So this is an absolute right. So rather than rely on ECHR Article 8, you should engage Article 2, same as Article 5. So I'll give you some information on the screen. What are the rights you can engage? So this is the European Convention on Human Rights. So I'll go to straight away to all the article to show and give you some basic idea. Now, Article right to life. Now, before that I go to all these articles, I want to give you another information. Is basically, I would say that this is also very important information for you, that regarding the confusion that whether you can claim and how you can claim, whether you can claim ECHR right now. Although we are not in the member of the European Union, but under the Human Rights Act 1998, because Human Rights Act basically incorporate more accurately the ECH right in our domestic law. So under the UK domestic law, Human Rights Act 1998, under Article 6, that no public authority can act in a way which is basically not compatible with the ECH or convention rights. So under Article 6 of Human Rights Act UK public authority under an obligation to make a decision which is compatible with the convention rights. So therefore, your right, which is recognized and given by the ECHR, you can enforce in the UK under the UK domestic law. Right. Let's go to the what are these rights, what you can engage in the UK. Firstly, right to life, Article 2. As I said, I gave you some brief idea. The right to life, that everyone have right to their life, and a public authority or no one can breach it. This is an absolute right. So you can engage in your asylum claim or human rights claim right to life. For example, if you have a threat that you may be face death penalty, or you may be faced unlawful killing, unlawful, so that can engage in your asylum claim. And there are a lot of explanation how you can engage, how you can present. It's not necessary that you will be killed by law enforcing agency. If your life is in threat, if your life is in risk, that any particular social group, any terrorist group, any community could endanger your life, you will face for extremism. So any types of it depends where you are come from and what is the situation of your country. But if you can engage Article 2 right to life, that there is a potential risk of your life that you will be killed or you will face death penalty, unlawful death penalty or lawful, whatever it is. So you can engage Article 2, and that will give a very good ground for leave to remain in the UK. If you apply for human rights, same as I said, I go briefly, but it depends on your circumstance and how you can engage it. Now, Article 3, which is also a convention right, which is a prohibition of torture. So if you can establish to the Home Office or the government anywhere, whether Europe or in the UK, that you will face torture from any from the government authority or police or law enforcing agency or from any particular group of that country, or if the state fail to, and also if the state will fail to protect you from that unlawful torture, then you can claim and engage Article 3 in your any claim, whether human rights claim or asylum claim or humanitarian protection claim. And then Article 4, prohibition of slavery and forced labor. This is very important. Many people have a claim for slavery, and this is a very wide area of law. I'm not going to discuss much, but if you can establish that you were a victim of forced labor, then you can claim and engage Article 4 in your asylum or leave to remain claim. Then Article 5, right to liberty and security. If you require to go back to your country, you will be arrested, detained, unlawful detention. Then you can also claim leave to remain or asylum, and you can engage Article 5 on your claim, which is an absolute human rights as a conventional right. So you need to know, basically, you need to present your case. You need to present the fact how you will be detained unlawfully and how your liberty will be restricted. That you need to present your case, you need to provide evidence. Now there are a lot of evidence you can present to the Home Office, depend on your circumstance, depend on your, for example, if you come from a country where, for example, Egypt, you are from Egypt, and currently the political party which is called Muslim Brotherhood, Muslim Brotherhood, for example, they're being detained unlawfully. Many supporter, many their political leader being detained unlawfully in that country. So that could be a ground, and you can provide evidence of different sources, newspaper, news journal, report from human rights group, report from Amnesty International, news article, to establish your claim that I will be detained unlawfully. So I say, for example, for Egypt. So it depends where you're from. And then Article 6, which is also a conventional right to fair trial, very important. For example, you are from Bangladesh, of opposition, of a member of opposition party. Now, the question is, many people in Bangladesh, for example, detained unlawfully, or you are from Pakistan, many people currently from the party of Imran Khan. So the member been detained unlawfully, they don't face the justice. In Israel, for example, currently the situation is where the government trying to limit the independence of the judiciary. So that has been an issue, that any opposition supporter or any people might not be get a fair trial. And this might be a ground. So it depends, as I said, from case to case, from fact to fact, from people to people, country to country. I all this saying as an example, but if where you are from, and that accordingly, if you do a consultation with any lawyer, they will advise you how you can engage right to fair trial, Article 6, on your human rights claim or on your asylum claim. And this is very these article is very important, and these most of the article are absolute right. If you can establish the fact with supporting evidence, you have a very good chance to get leave to remain or make successfully your asylum claim. And then Article 7, no punishment without law. Many countries in the world uh, where the government detain people, put in prison without face the court, without give them proper access to judiciary or access to legal advice. So these are the countries citizen where they can claim in the UK and present the evidence, as I earlier. But as I said, it depends which country where are you from, and accordingly your lawyer will advise you, your lawyer will present the case, provide evidence. So Article 7, no punishment without law. Now last one, which I said, that right to respect of private and family life. I will not talk much about it. Many of you know about and 90% of the application in the UK based on private and family life. Article 9, which is not an absolute right, but I will freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Now, many people who come in the UK, sometimes they convert to another religion, and that put them at risk of exercising their right is be difficult to their home country, and because of that, they face prosecution. They face in social group, in extremist, in the hands of extremists, and they face sometime a right to life. They can engage because of Article 9, because of change of religion, because they will be killed if they're required to go to their home. They will be face torture, unlawful torture from different community, society, family, because of Article 9, because he changed his religion, and he will not able to practice his religion in the home country. So because of the conversion to a different religion, you could claim ECHR either on your asylum or in your humanitarian protection or leave to remain application. These are the 9 article human rights convention right what you can engage in your case, in your whether leave to remain normal leave to remain application, application on compassionate circumstance, application on discretionary leave, application on humanitarian protection, application if you claim asylum in the UK. So rather than just rely on refugee convention, my recommendation is you should consult with a lawyer whether you can engage the convention right on your asylum claim. If your asylum claim refused, then you have a chance to get remedy under the ECHR right. And most, because many people what they do, they just seek asylum to recognize them as a refugee under the refugee convention, but sometimes the home secretary might be decide not to recognize you as a refugee because you are not qualified under European Convention on Human Rights, rather than you may have a better chance under the European Convention on Human Rights. So rather than to rely only on refugee convention, my suggestion, my advice, strongly advise you should engage and you should rely on both convention, the Convention on Refugee and the ECHR, European Convention on Human Rights. That will give you a better chance to make successful your application or your asylum claim. Thank you very much. This is a brief 5-10 minute discussion, but it depends where you are from, what is your personal circumstance, which article I can refer to you. Once I do a consultation with you, I understand your circumstance, then I can advise you person to person more accurately. Thank you very much. Please feel free to share this video on your timeline, or please subscribe me as well. Thank you all of you today.